Peterson represent the student body for the Ramblers. They will play in the 3-6 game against Indiana State, the 8:30 game on Friday. We're going to ask Porter to make a statement about his club being back here in St. Louis, and then we'll have questions for all three gentlemen of the Ramblers. Porter, please.
Well, I'm proud of our guys. They've withstood some adversity this year with some injuries, and they just, especially these two right here, have played really well, really hard, and we got great chemistry. I think these guys have been focused, and just really proud of these guys that they've moved up our program a step. We have a lot of steps to go. We know that, but in terms of where you want your attitude, your character, your chemistry, we're pleased to be here.
Porter, could you reflect on the two games against the Sycamores this year, and really, and they've kind of had your number the last couple of years. What is it that they do so well?
I think Indiana State's got a great balance, Dave, of size. Gant, Kitchell are very, very physical. And then their guards, Brown and Scott have been very athletic. We haven't been able to defend those two very well. They really had great games at our arena. And what they've done is they've shared the ball. They strike you off the dribble, and they can shoot it. I mean, I was talking to Greg about it, and one of the big differences for his team from non-conference to now is to make shots. We look at how much they're making threes, and they got a number of guys that can make threes. So then you got to make a decision. I think, do you pack it in the paint to stop their drive, or do you extend to stop their three? And so I like their balance of their size inside and their athletic guards.
Next question is on the platform.
Yeah, Coach, the Sycamores have managed to win a game, at least a game, here at this tournament for 4 years in a row. I know you talked about Greg's consistency before the season, but could you just comment on the difficulty of winning a game, even when you're not at your best, for 4 years in a row here by the Sycamores?
That's a great run by Greg, because to do the consistency, like you said, but that is, you got to have when you get a taste of it. I mean, I think they've had a lot of players. They've done it the right way. Gant's senior, Kitchell's a senior. Last year they had Odom, who played a lot of games for them, and that's what you get. You get guys that have been here, and that's one benefit for us. We have 5 guys in Christian, Jeff White, Devin Turk, Joe Crispin, and Milton Doyle that won a game here last year. I think that's a big plus, is that you get the confidence. You can come in here, get a win, and hopefully advance. Your goal is not just to win one. So, but you got to give Greg and his staff and his players credit for coming in here year after year and at least getting one.
Porter, what are your expectations for Milton tomorrow? And as a coach, are you worried about maybe his return kind of throwing things out of whack a little bit, since he had not played for 10 games or so?
Our expectation is he's going to play. He played last game, got in the middle of a close game and played well. And our chemistry is really good. I think, some teams you might worry about that. I don't with these guys. I mean, these two right here have been a key part of it. Everybody's, welcome them back. Milton was like another coach every day in practice. Sometimes when you get guys injured, they migrate to the training room. You don't see them for a while. Milton was roaming the sidelines, coaching. He's on the bench. I mean, there was times in those 11 games that he missed that he'd be poking my sport coat during a media timeout, telling me, "Hey, look what's open right here." So he's been staying involved. The guys on the team, we have great chemistry. There's going to be no awkwardness, there wasn't last game against Missouri State. As a matter of fact, I believe it's the opposite. These guys are confident. We really think we can do something here, and they want all hands on deck. And I think that's the way that our whole team's approached it and the way these guys approached it.
Porter, in the previous 2 games, you got a good game in Terre Haute out of Montel, and then you got a good game out of Earl in Chicago. How do you get a couple more guys involved, and how does Milton's return kind of influence that?
It's a great question. I think we've been consistent with our effort, but we've had different guys step up different times. And that's what's exciting to me, because I know we have guys that are capable. No matter how you spin things certain years, do you really have the guns in your holster to guys capable to helping you do this? Well, I feel like we do. I think Earl's had some big games, Christian's had some big games, Montel's had some games, Milton has, Devin Turk has. You know, the key on running a table of 3 games in a tournament is getting everybody playing well. And I think our effort, our attitude, our focus are there. You know, I think guys are going to play well. I really do. I think they're, you know, just getting. I think we haven't been at our best, but I think we're playing well right now as the season ended. But like you said, Montel played really well there. Earl played well here, and I just think the guys are, you know, they beat us twice, and hopefully that's sticking in our guys' gut.
Christian, how special is it you, 4 years, getting to come back home and play in St. Louis?
You know, it seems like almost a surreal feeling just because when I was growing up, you know, my family would always come to Arch Madness, and now being on the other side of it, it's just really special for me, and just getting a chance for a lot of my family members and maybe friends from high school and things like that, just to come to see me play that haven't gotten an opportunity to come to Chicago is also great.
For you, Coach Moser, what sort of impact has Rick Majerus had on your coaching career? Is there anything that you take from the process that you went through at St. Louis as an assistant that you've applied here with Loyola?
Coach has meant the world to me. I mean, it was a blessing for me, you know, to land here with him. And I thought we did, you know, a lot of work here. I think about him a lot. I just so much of what he was about, and talking to him in so many late night meals, talking ball. He truly was a savant, and I miss him as a friend. I miss him as a mentor. And there's a lot of our footprint, his footprint on what we're trying to do here. Rick was big on, I mean, I remember him in my first year or two at Loyola saying to me all the time, calling me, don't try to go too fast, don't try to go too fast, don't skip steps. And we felt we didn't do that at St. Louis, and I think we're doing that right now. I mean, for us, it's very hard to jump conferences like you did when you take over something that was down in one conference. And we feel like our arrow's going up. And these guys will tell, I reference Coach Majerus a lot with these guys. They didn't know him. Actually, Christian did know him. But there's a lot of references on the culture of what we're trying to do that he impacted my life as a coach and as a man.
We're halfway through. We have a question here and then there.
Christian, this is for you. Could you just kind of reflect on last season's tournament here, and you know, some of your memories of, you know, winning your first game over Bradley, and you know what that meant to you, and did that help you guys really get accustomed to what this tournament was all about?
Yeah, I think so, just because leading up to it, you know, really only Coach Moser had a lot of inside knowledge on him, having played here and coached here. And so, you know, last year going up against a team that had beaten us twice before, you know, coming down to the last second shot, and then Milton obviously, you know, hitting a game winner, I think that was really special for us. I think it showed that we can come into this environment and win, and it kind of set an expectation going forward.
Coach, just to follow up, you said that you tell your players some of the things that Coach Majerus told you. What are some of those things?
Well, Rick has a lot of little sayings that we actually have a wall of culture in our locker room, and there's probably 100 little sayings on there, and there's a lot of them from Rick, Coach Majerus. I mean, like threw you to the rim, you know, so many of them. There's so many little things, teaching points, and that was one of the special things about Coach Majerus is his attention to detail. It was off the chain, and you know, Rick has a lot of those. These guys know what those little things are.
And then Christian, what did you know about Coach Majerus? What was your relationship and interaction with him?
Well, I first met Coach Majerus as a junior in high school and came to an open gym at Clayton High School where I went. And so just the first thing I remember him telling me was just different pointers about how to play the game, things like that. And then also just from going to different open gyms at St. Louis U, just talking to the players, kind of getting their take on them. He seemed like just an outstanding person, always willing to give a helping hand, just giving guys life advice and things like that. He just seemed like a great person.
This question, excuse me, this question's for Earl. Earl, how much was it a blessing perhaps in disguise that players like yourself were called on to have a little bit different role when Milton went down, you know, a little bit more of a scoring role, a little bit, and you can, you know, elaborate on what that would be. How much do you think that's helped you at this point in the season to have taken on some different roles that maybe you wouldn't have had otherwise?
I think it's helped me a lot, and it's given me a lot of confidence because some of my teammates, they were looking to me for to create shots for myself and them as well, and I was able to do so and help the team get some wins, and it boosted my confidence.
Anything else for the Ramblers? All right, gentlemen.